Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. We are starting off 2023 with a new plan of real food. Getting rid of my 40 pounds with real food. And here's what we're doing first. We are shaking up this Premier Protein. Amazing coffee creamer, guys. This thing's chocked with protein. So I add a little to my coffee, and then I add my typical little squirt of stevia just to sweeten it up a little bit. This is my first morning coffee. Who else loves that first sip? Nothing better. I shared this with you the other day, but I want to show you the packaging. These are the La Banderita low carb tortillas. They're called Carb Counter. They're approved for keto, for low carb, for what have you. But check it out, guys. One tortilla has only 45 calories, very low in carbs because of the high fiber content, and there's protein. You cannot go wrong with these. Now, at first, I was afraid to eat them, but they're doing nothing but attributing to my weight loss because I'm full, and they're delicious. So I'm making some eggs. This is one whole egg and a bunch of egg whites, and I topped it with one slice of Velveeta cheese. I'm going to turn around and show you the macros until I realized I tore it off the package. But I believe on the front is where I'm going to show you they're very low in calorie, and they do have some added protein to them. So again, I took one slice, I cut it in half, and topped my egg with it. So there you go, 40 calories for a slice. This is a perfect way to get some cheese on top of your eggs without a lot of fat. Here they are. 2 tortillas with the eggs and the cheese, and then I dive into my bag of baby spinach because you have to have a complete meal. So I have a little bit of a carb, a protein, a healthy fat, and some veggie. Very important. This will help keep you satisfied. This will help keep your bowels moving, which is something that I struggle with when I eat very, very, very low calorie. So I'm going to expect some good BMs. And I'm sorry if it's TMI, but most of us need to hear it. So I am going to roll these up into these little, I don't know, they're these little delicious wrap shapes. And normally during the week, I've been taking them to work with me and I wrap it in foil. But on this day, I just plopped it into a plate and I decided to eat it for breakfast. Here's my Stanley water cup, 40 ounces. I do 2 of these each day at least. And I wanted to show you the top because somebody asked if it can be closed. If you take the straw out of there and slide that Stanley little bar over, it will close it. But it keeps the ice iced for literally over a whole day. I can fill it at night and wake up the next day with ice. Okay, here's lunch. This is going to be the spinach salad of all spinach salads. In this, I started off with a big giant bowl of spinach. I'm adding some English cucumbers to it. I have just a few of these Caesar croutons. I looked at the back of the package and I saw the weight, the serving size, but in grams, 7 grams, I believe it is. I had to weigh that out on a food scale, and you can see there's like 4 or 5 of them in there. That is it. That is a serving size. So here I am in a bowl. I have a can of Chunk Light tuna, and I added to that 1 tablespoon of Hellmann's Light mayo. As you can see, 1 tablespoon has very, very great macros, low cal. And then we have some sweet relish, which I haven't had in so long. I did a tablespoon of this. There's your macros. And 1 tablespoon mixed in that gave it just a tad of sweetness, and it was absolutely delicious. G. Hughes makes the best salad dressings, hands down. They're my absolute favorite. And this one is a recent find, and I've been enjoying it. I'm almost, I think, about halfway through the bottle by now. But check it out, guys. 2 tablespoons for 60 calories, no sugar, delicious. And I poured it on top. I did add a few of those little heirloom cherry tomatoes. And this meal, I kid you not, oh my God, it was so good. Kept me full for hours. And when you see my dinner, you'll totally see that I was still full because I really didn't have that much for dinner. But here it is, a tuna salad, and the spinach has amazing iron. Okay, so if you're going through menopause like me, you need to up the iron. In my air fryer, I decided to cook a spaghetti squash. This is what my dinner was going to be. I cooked it at 380 degrees, and I did spray it with a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper. For about, I think I did it for about 15 minutes or so. And then I took a glass bowl. Now, silly me, because I should have let the spaghetti squash cool down, but I didn't. And I set my scale and I went to scoop it out. And what you're not seeing here is me burning the heck out of my hand. It was so hot, you can kind of see I'm kind of taking this little spaghetti squash and holding it at the very top because my hand was on fire. And when I start scooping out the second half, you're gonna literally crack up because I used a paper towel to hold it with. Please let your spaghetti squash cool down before you attempt to pick it up and shred it out, because from the air fryer, this thing was so hot. But it's so easy, and it takes such like a short amount of time to cook it in the air fryer versus the oven. See the paper towel? My hand was on fire. But anyway, what I want to say too, though, going back to how much I'm eating here, I have been using MyFitnessPal. And to be quite honest with you, I think it's a little confusing for a lot of us. So what I did was I went on my phone and I still had that Healthy app, Healthi. The Healthy app is a way to track your food, similar to Weight Watchers. However, it's free and you can track your macros and your points and all of those other things. So I set mine to, I believe it's called Carb Conscious. So I'm not going to overdo it on the carbs because that's my nemesis. But I do want to have some because I feel like my life should be balanced right now. So that's what I'm doing, and I will show that in another video. So here's the spaghetti squash. I weighed it out. I really wanted to only have half, but however, half of that little spaghetti squash was barely anything, and I didn't want to be hungry later on. This is the tomato sauce that I used. It's as natural and organic as I could find, and I did use a half a cup. Remember, we are doing healthy eating now, real food, so you don't have to limit this to a couple of tablespoons. You can have a half a cup of tomato sauce, and it's healthy for you. On top of the spaghetti squash, I stir it up with a fork. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then I thought, I do need a little bit of protein to make this balanced, right? So what I did was I found a bag of fat-free mozzarella in my fridge, and I weighed out 28 grams, which is one serving, technically a quarter of a cup. I weighed it out on the food scale. Here's what it is. It's not a little bit. It was actually great. And then I decided to take the bowl and pop it in my microwave oven so that I could melt that cheese. And then after that, I figured, you know what? I don't need any other protein. I don't need chicken. I mean, you could add anything. But I decided to forego it and use the cheese as my protein. And after 90 seconds, I popped it out of the microwave. There it is. And look at that. The cheese melted. The sauce got nice and warm. The spaghetti squash was warm. It literally was like a bowl of spaghetti. And I have to tell you, I enjoyed this so much. And I still had room for dessert. So I'm going to mix this up. And I'm going to show you in the next clip what I chose to have for dessert. I think if you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen it because I posted all about it and I can't say enough about it. So I'm going to go enjoy this little bowl here, and then I'm going to see you when it's time for dessert. And here is dessert. I spoke about these. I cannot get enough of these. I have been saving one of them every night for my dessert. 140 calories with 9 grams of protein. You cannot beat it. And I want to show you what the bars look like. It's basically fat-free Greek yogurt wrapped in a very thin layer of chocolate. And it tastes like cheesecake. Here it is. That's what the wrapper looks like. And I'm telling you, please try these. Please, they're delicious. I'm not sponsored, but I'm telling you, you're going to love them. And they come in so many different flavors. This one happens to be just the plain Greek yogurt vanilla flavor. They do have strawberry. I love them both. And again, I've been saving these every night for dessert.